Hello. So today I am going to study loops. Loops are a way to repeatedly execute some code, like for loops, like while loops in MATLAB. For planet, in planets, print planet, and I don't know what this means, print all on the same line. The for loop specifies the variable name to use. Yeah, this is interesting for planet, in planets. You say literally for this object in planets, print planet, and we didn't predefine this, or is it? Okay, no, let's continue. The for loop specifies the variable name to use, in this case planet. This is the variable name to use. The set of values to loop over, in this case planets. Set of values here. So you need a variable name and set of values. I guess from the set of values, it picks and assigns to the variable name, prints, picks, and assigns, prints, picks, and assigns, and prints. So to build something like this, just to repeat, you need to specify for planet, in planets, you have to specify the variable name and the set of values. The object to the right of the in, the object to the right of the in can be any object that supports iteration. Basically, if it can be thought of as a group of things, you can probably loop over it. In addition to lists, we can iterate over the elements of a tuple. Multiplicans. Product 1 for mult and multiplicans. Product equals product times mult. So this basically multiplies all the values in the tuple. And remember, tuples are immutable. You can't change any values. You can even loop through each character in a string. Stenography is the practice of concealing a file, message, image, or video within another file. So what you do is message, MSG is an empty string. Print all the uppercase letters in S, one at a time. For character, for char in S, if char.isupper, print char end equals apostrophe, two apostrophes, apostrophes, apostrophes. I don't know that to properly use that word, but okay. Anyways, and equals. So this means until the end of the file, I guess. Okay. char is upper. Range is a function that returns. Oh, sorry. That returns a sequence of numbers. Wait. I just want to go back and understand one thing. So first of all, message isn't used anywhere in here in the loop. So let's ignore that. So for char in S starts as usual. If char dot is uppercase, parentheses, semicolon to the next line indent, and char is uppercase. If this is true, print char, comma, and blah, blah, blah. So interesting thing here is it says print all the uppercase letters in S one at a time. It says one at a time, but we see them printed in one line, not like H and then E on another line and then L on another line. So this doesn't seem like it's printing one at a time. It's printing all at once. But important thing is and equals apostrophe means until the end of the file. Range is a function that returns a sequence of numbers. It turns out to be very useful for writing loops. For example, if we want to repeat some action 5 times, for I in range 5, print doing important work I equals I. This is like in MATLAB, this is for I equals 1 semicolon 5. The other type of loop in Python is a while loop, which iterates until some condition is met. I equals 0. While I less than 10, print I and I plus equal 1. Strange, unfamiliar to me. And I think this is short of I equals I plus 1. Starts with 0. So, okay, I think the syntax, the sequence goes like I equals 0. Is I less than 10? Yes, it's 0. Print I. And it prints 0. And then it sums I plus 1 equals I. So I is 1. While it is 1, so in the next round, it goes like, is 1 less than 10? Yes. So print I, prints 1. And then it does I plus equal. So I plus I, 1 plus 1 is 2, equal to I. Is 2 less than 10? Yes. And go on, so on, so on, so on. The argument of the while loop is evaluated as a Boolean statement, and loop is executed until the statement evaluates to false. Argument of the while loop is this. Boolean statement. Boolean statement, and the loop is executed until statement validates to false. Okay. List comprehensions. List comprehensions are one of Python's most beloved and unique features. The easiest way to understand them is probably to just look at a few examples. Squares equals n to the square n to the power 2 for n in range 10. So from 0 to 10, you square it and you make a list. Squares is 0 for 0. Notice that it starts from 0, not 1. 1 squared 1 is 1, 2 squared is 4, 9, 3 squared 9. Okay. And notice that 10 is not included. Same here, I missed that. Range 5, until 5, not including 5. Okay. So when you say range 5, it will go up to 4. Range 10, go up to 9. Okay. Squares is an empty list for n in range 10. Squares dot append n to the power 2 squares, print squares. Okay, but instead you can do squares so you basically put your function here and then put your loop and your argument and put your loop here. That's it. We can also add an if condition. Short planets. Planet for planet. Okay, so let's start with this. For planet in planets, if length of the word is less than 6 characters, print planet or put planet in the short planets list. If you're familiar with SQL, you might think of this as being like where clause. Where clause. I'm not familiar with SQL. Here's an example of filtering with an if condition and applying some transformation to the loop variables. String.upper returns an all caps version of a string. Loud short planets. Planet.upper plus a exclamation mark. For planet in planets, if length of planet is less than 6. Basically, you can also transform the value that satisfies this condition. People usually write these on a single line, but you might find the structure clearer when it's split up over 3 lines. I agree. And when you're going to the next line, you don't put any signs like semicolon, etc. Continuing the SQL analogy, you could think of these 3 lines as select from, and where. The expression on the left doesn't technically, the expression on the left have to involve the loop variable, though it would be pretty unusual for it not to. What do you think the expression below will evaluate to? Press the output button to check 32 for planet in planets. Okay. My guess, first one is it can check the bit, like the how many bits the data is. It can check the character length. So it prints 32 for all the planets, for all the strings in the planets list. Okay. List comprehensions combined with functions like min, max, and sum can lead to impressive one-line solutions for problems that would otherwise require several lines of code. For example, compare the following two cells of code that do the same thing. We write a function, we define a function, count negatives, and the argument of it is numbers, or what is this argument or variable? It's variable, right? Or so then this is your argument. Okay. So then this is an argument. So it is, you provide information to the function, can then use that information as it runs like a variable, yeah. So it takes an argument. Arguments are variables used only in that specific function. You can specify the value of an argument and you call the function. So basically, this is an object and it can get different variables, different values. Either you can assign or it can like pick, take a new value from a list each time if it's a loop. So it wants us to return the number of negative numbers in the given list. Number of negative numbers. Count negatives. And the list is 5, minus 2, minus 1, minus 2, 0, 3. And it says, okay, you have 2. So n negative equals 0. So don't see here. And how would I do it? How would I do it? Okay, just using min, max, and sum. Okay. What I would do is